Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to the Introvert Dating Success Show, courtesy of introvertdatingsuccess.com. I'm your host, HarryWilmington. This is the show, and that is the website where you can go to learn how to date as your authentic introverted self while still getting your precious alone time. And on today's show, we have a question from a guy that has a question that I'm sure a lot of guys all over the world, especially introverted men, probably have, which is, why would a woman purposely start a relationship with a player? And the answers we're going to give you today are probably ones you may not have thought about, but hopefully you'll be able to use them and realize that some of the tactics that players use, you can actually use yourself to be able to attract women that you want, but, treat them better. So we'll get into that. As always, for more of these shows, you can go to introvertdatingsuccess.com. You can check us out on YouTube, check us out on Apple Music, in podcast form. And of course, you can go to patreon.com/introvertdatingsuccess to show your support that way. If you decide to join on Patreon, you'll have access to these shows a week before anybody else. You can also go to the website to inquire about paid one-on-one coaching. And if you have any questions for this show, you can write me there as well. Also, last week, I released the archives of my previous podcast, the Stop Losing Women podcast. That was a show that I did before this one. Over 400 episodes that are all about the ins and outs of meeting, greeting, attracting, dating, and ultimately being able to land the woman of your dreams. I have a whole host of shows, over 144 hours of content. So you can either get that show on a subscription basis or as a one-time fee. But if you're trying to boost up your education on how to attract women the right way and you want to do it with a decent amount of information, then that is an avenue that you can try for. You can listen to some of those shows at the website as well before you decide to buy. Okay. So let's go ahead and get to this guy's question, because this is a question that even me, myself, back in the day had, and I was very, very frustrated for a long time. And his question is this. He says, why would a woman start a relationship with a man that she knows is a player? I can see why women fall for bad boys and get into short-term flings with them. However, can someone explain why a woman would enter into a relationship with a man that she knows is a player who uses women? The guy in question is someone I know. He is attractive and decently fit, but nothing like out of a magazine. I'd say he's a real world 7. The girl is pretty. Again, nothing out of a magazine, but what any man would describe as cute, and is educated, intelligent, and comes across as a good person. I just don't understand why a woman like this would enter into a relationship with a man whose history she is fully aware of. Okay, so this is a situation that as guys we see time and time again, especially if there's a girl out there that we want to date and we're looking at the situation she's in and the guy that she's with. I know back in the day, I had a friend that I used to go to college with. When I moved out here, I secretly had a crush on her, never told her, but I had a crush on her, but I couldn't get with her because she was dating this guy who every time she'd tell me a story about him was like, oh, we argued about this. Oh, he did this thing to me. He threatened me with this thing. And then they eventually had a kid together, which obviously makes it even harder to try to get with her. But then more stuff kept happening. But then she kept going back to him to hook up because, the physicalities of their relationship was great. But just he as a person was just very angry and can be very dismissive of her and be very violent at times. But yet and still, she chose him time and time again. And this is the thing that I've seen other women, friends of mine, just women that I don't know, but I've heard other women go through the same situation. And it used to bug me. It used to bug me for a really, really long time because I was like, these women are intelligent. They have various degrees from school. They clearly know how they want to be treated. And these guys that they're choosing are not treated in this way. What is going on? But what we're not typically privy to is the initial genesis of that relationship. So we make assumptions. For one of the things in this thing, he assumed that this woman knew about his player ways or knew about his past treatment of other women. That is not always true initially. That's one of those things that can possibly come out later and she not know about it, but by the time she does, she's already invested. Or let's say that she did know, that she had heard about this guy through the grapevine and how he treated previous girls and this and that. For one, most people are going to think that just because this happened to somebody else, it's not going to happen to them because we're very egocentric. So we're thinking, oh my gosh, she's thinking I'm so great that there's no way he would treat me like this because I'm me and I'm so wonderful. How would that possibly happen? The other thing is, and this is a very known fact too, is that a lot of times women will actually lie on men to keep other women away and ruin his chances with getting somebody new. And this goes back to like, think about court cases where it's like, a guy got accused of doing some physically harmful stuff in the physical region to a woman that she wasn't asking for. And then you find out later the story wasn't true. So enough of that kind of stuff happens to where a woman might hear like, oh, this guy's a player, he's a pimp, he did this, whatever. And her first thought is like, well, that girl could be lying. Or this girl has a history of lying, or she's just trying to keep me away from him or trying to ruin his reputation when he's really not like that. So there's a bunch of various reasons as to why that she would still continue to try to go with this guy, even if these stories about him are out there. Now, here's the other thing too, is that men put on a great front. So what I mean by that is early on, when this girl is meeting this guy, the guy is going to pull out all the stops to make it look like he's the best guy around. He's going to do that sweet talk. He's going to say things that hit her emotionally. He might be smelling good in a certain way. He's got his clothes a certain way. So he's presenting himself as, I am the perfect male candidate. And if that is all that she has to go on, this is great because she wants men to approach her in this way. She wants to feel sexy. She wants to be able to laugh and have a guy that makes her feel joyful. And this guy knows how to do that. And so she might meet the representative, which is the guy that he is when he first approaches her, and fall in love with the representative. Now, later on, the representative might go away, at which point the real him comes out where he is cheating on her or abusing her or whatever. But by that point, she's already invested into him. And once a woman's invested into the representative, that is the mental picture of him that she always has in his mind. So even if he starts acting like somebody else, her thought's going to be, this is just temporary because eventually I'm going to get the representative again. And I really like the representative. So if I have to sit through this person or this version of the person over here to eventually get back to the representative, then I'll just keep hoping and wishing that happens. And women are very much about like hoping, wishing, looking for the good in people and knowing that they can get back to that good. So understand that when you're seeing these women that are with these guys that are just treating them like trash and are a-holes and are cheating on them, it didn't start out that way. More likely than not, it started out where he had a good representative, she fell for it, and now she feels like she's going to be dumb, A, for even trying to get out of it, and B, because how could she be so stupid to fall for this guy? And a lot of that hits on their ego where it's like, how could I not see this coming? Well, now I got to try to reverse ship and try to make this guy the guy that I thought he was when I first met him. Okay. So that's the explanation for why that can happen. Now, you as a guy got to understand something too, is that players and guys that are really good with women, the reason they get so many women is because, in fact, they are good women. They've learned the things to say. They know how to make them feel the way that women want to feel. They display certain characteristics. For example, this guy, he says he is attractive and decently fit. So he's in the gym. He's working out. He's got his body together. And players and guys that are good with women know that these are the things women are looking for that most turn them on. So all they just know, as long as I get these things, I'm going to be able to have my choice of women. And tie that with being detached to the outcome initially in terms of like, he just approaches her as if he just doesn't care. Like, this is who I am. This is how I am. I talk this way. I might curse sometimes. I might do this and that, take it or leave it, but this is how I am. And because women can feel that, they feel as though this man must be being his authentic self because he's not trying to do things necessarily to please me. Like, he's doing stuff to make her feel good, but he's still being his own man and not giving a crap about if she cares about that or not. And that can be very desirable as well. Whereas a lot of, we'll say, nice guys and a lot of introverted men in trying to bide their time and try to try to be appealing to as many women as possible, they can be pushovers. They can be very weak in terms of their asks. A lot of times they try to become friends with the girl first and then try to get in her good graces by doing things for her and making sure that everything she says is like gospel and always saying yes to her. And these are things that they think are going to make her be like, you know what? I'm attracted to him because he does everything that I say. He's always saying nice stuff to me. He does everything for me. I want to date this guy. And that is not actually the guy that girls want to date but we think it is. So we do that, and then we don't get the girl. So you need to start really studying what these alleged bad boys are doing and what these guys that are good with women are doing, and then do those things. And you know that you can do it from an angle whereby you know you're going to treat her well, but, you know, choosing a good wardrobe, knowing what smells to put on, knowing what things to say in conversations that'll turn women on, knowing how to make them laugh, knowing how to be your authentic self while still being able to let her know that, hey, this is how I am, and not being a pushover and being able to show leadership in certain areas. You can do these things as a guy, just you can't be the ultimate pushover because women don't like that. So if you start doing those traits instead, you'll be showing the same kind of traits that bad boys do, but you know that when you get the woman, you're going to treat her better than the bad boy would. And she'll actually stay with you because you're making her feel the things she needs to feel to like you while still being the confident man, being a leader guy, and that kind of stuff. So don't think that you got to be a complete a-hole in order to get women, because that's not what women are falling for. Women typically fall for the guy, he becomes an a-hole, and at that point it's like it's too late to get out of it, so she spends her whole life trying to get him back to the guy that he was before, which was maybe a little bit cocky, but not full on like cheating on her and beating her and stuff like that. But you can come in, take some of those characteristic traits, and then figure that out. And so I got materials at my website that can help you out with that. I got books galore. I got a book on what the things not to do. I actually have a whole chapter in my book, No Girls For You, The Ultimate Guide to Losing the Girl of Your Dreams, that talks about, in a funny way, but talks about why it is that being the pushover guy is actually going to make you lose women more so than get women. So that whole book is chock full of great stuff about, it basically explains why the things you're doing right now to try to get women is actually causing you to lose them. And it's a rather sizable ebook, but it's worth a read if you're wondering why complimenting a girl all the time, not talking about sex, paying for everything, etc., can actually make you lose them, okay? And it's relatively affordably priced at the website, so check that out, okay? But anyway, hopefully this answers this guy's question. Hopefully it answers your question. If you like this show and you want to get some paid one-on-one coaching, I recommend going to the website, clicking on the coaching tab, and setting up a time for us to talk. If you are interested in really boosting your education about women in general, I highly recommend signing up for access to my Stop Losing Women podcast. Again, over 400 shows, 144 plus hours of content. You're going to learn something. We got experts that we've interviewed. We got women that we actually interviewed that are in the process of dating that tell you what things work and don't work. We got a lot of personal insights, and I also answer a lot of questions from guys that really delve deep into things that a lot of gurus aren't talking about, but are vital for you to know if you want to be successful. So you can get it either as a month-to-month subscription or you can get it as a one-time fee, but definitely check it out. Again, there are free shows from that era that you can listen to right now. If you like those shows, you're going to like all the other stuff you hear. If you like this show, you'll like that stuff. But anyway, also, if you have questions that you want to have answered on this show, you can write to me by going to the website, clicking on the contact tab. Be sure to check out previews of the ebooks. We got an ebook on texting, an ebook on what not to do. We got an ebook on, what was the other thing? I don't know. We got ebooks on a lot of stuff. I can't think right now. And yeah, more podcasts there. Also, if you like this show and you want to support it, you can click on the tip jar tab and show your support however you can. No amount is too small. I'm just happy to be able to get this information out to you guys on a regular basis. So check all that stuff out at the website. I'm HarryWilmington, and I will catch you guys on the next show. I'm out. Peace.